Hello and welcome. My name is Michele and I'm independent demonstrator with Stamping Up. Thank you for joining us today. Please jump on. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Deborah. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. If you're new here, welcome, and please say, let us know who you are, where you're from. And I'm playing today, as I said, this is sort of a play chat day. As a few of you will know, my mojo's sort of gone missing a bit, but I'm actually need to make for this weekend some gift tags. So I thought, and I'm going to make a numerous amount for something I'm going to on the weekend, and I thought, why not make them here? Because I need a bit of help. I've chosen a stamp set and I've been having a little bit of a play. I have got the tags here from, let me just pull this out so you can see. I'm playing with the Greetings of Seasons tags. So these are on the online exclusive, and you've got all these really great tags, and if you buy it as a bundle with this stamp set, of course you get 10% off. So that's the Greetings of Season sentiments, all great ones for holidays, Christmas, New Year. Really good ones there, to and from, so fantastic for tags. So I'm playing with those. So at the moment I've got some basic beige, and I'm just cutting out some of these tags in various styles. I've got two different dies here, so I'm going to cut a couple in this one as well. And I thought, well, why not get you guys to give me helping hand in making these. I know what I want to play with as far as designer series paper. I'll grab it in a second. Just let me just do these. So what's everybody been up to? Is everybody getting ready for Christmas? Is anyone else making tags? I've been going through my stash and seeing what I've got. I've pulled out some wild wheat ink, and I've got real red ink. I've got Pretty Peacock, and I've got my Memento Black handy. I've also got my wild wheat cardstock here. Somewhere here on my desk, I've got all of these that I've already pre-cut, lots of bits and pieces, so we may go through this. Oh, I need those. They're some die cuts that we might need. So I've got all these things here that I've pre-cut over the last couple of weeks, that I thought, I've just pulled them out and I thought, well, we could use some of those on these tags. Hello, Sue, how are you? So let me see if I can get another one out of this, or don't know, or might. No, I don't think so. I think I'm just at that end. So I'll just get rid of that scrap there off there. Okay, so let me just pop this all to one side. So as I said, I've pulled out some bits and pieces that I've cut over the last few weeks, like let me see where my designer series paper has gone. Is it here, down here? I always pop things down here on the floor. So the one I've picked out that I want to play with today is Sentimental Christmas, because I really love this, just for the fact that it reminds me so much of Christmas when I was a kid. Crafting on a Budget. Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us. And where are you from? Please let us know. I really love this paper that Stamping Up had brought out, because I really love these images. It just really reminds me of back in the 70s and Christmas with my parents. My mother used to decorate, and I know I did it a few years back. I did a a wine bottle cover, but she used to always get a bottle of beer for there was one for the garbage man, one for the milkman, and one for the baker, because in those days these things were all delivered. Well, the milk and the bread was delivered to your home. Of course, the garbage man came to pick up the garbage, but Mum would get a big bottle of beer, and she would wrap it up in red crepe paper and put a belly band around it in black and cut out some gold paper to form the buckle, and, some black piece on the bottom to represent the feet. And then she used to get wrapping paper that had Santa Claus heads on it, and they were really traditional styled Santa Claus paper and Santa Claus heads that were big enough to be cut out, put onto a piece of cardboard, cut out, and to be stuck on the top of these bottles. And that's what we used to give as gifts to these people, these men that used to come to do deliveries at our place. And this paper, even though there's no Santa Claus heads in this, it just really reminds me of those days, the images, the colours that they've used. So I really, really love this paper because of the memories it brings back. So look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? And even that one with the posy, the Christmas posy, and the big bow and everything underneath it. But it brings back a lot of wonderful memories. So I'm wanting to use some of this paper, maybe not so much this side of it, but the reverse side of it, where you've got, the stripes in the red and the stripes in the pretty peacock. What's on some of the other reverse ones? I mean, even that one a little bit. Look at that with the reindeers. It's so gorgeous. Maybe not so much snowflakes, because here in Australia we don't really have snow, or we don't have snow at Christmas time. Though living here in the Southern Highlands, it has been cold enough sometimes that I know one year when kids were little, we had it so cold that felt like it was going to snow. But and these stockings can be all die cut. So what I thought we'd do is we'd play with that. We've also got the stamp set that goes with it. So let me just pop that to one side. You got the stamp set that goes with it, which is the sentimental wishes, and we have the dies that cut out. So there we've got the stocking. We can cut the stocking out. I think there's a die that cuts out. Where are my dies? I've got this piece here that cuts out the holly. There's the one that cuts out the stocking, and it'll be on my messy desk here somewhere, because I've sort of just been playing around for the last hour with bits and pieces, trying to come up with some ideas. Oh, look, there's my plates that I misplaced. I'll pop those over there where they should be. And somewhere there's a tiny little packet of dies, and I will come across it in a minute. So let me just move some of these things out. I've decided to use the sentiment for someone special, because I just felt these other sentiments, or even let's celebrate the season, could be quite nice, but some of these other ones are a little bit big, and I'm sure there's a die to cut out that piece. Just have to find it. Look, there it is. It's one of those really small little packets. Oh, I almost lost that to the floor. A little small packet. Isn't it tiny? It's so cute. But in here is just a couple of little dies. So, yes, we have the die that cuts out the holly. We've got the die that cuts out the stocking. And then we have a die that cuts out the candles, and this cute little die that cuts out a bow. And you can actually cut the bow out of the paper. So there's a little bow that I've cut from the paper. This one will also cut the stockings. So if we wanted to, we can cut a couple of stockings from this paper here. We can, I don't think it'll cut. There's the one with the, I think I've looked at this before. I don't think it's a wrong shaped candle. This one here has got a pointed tip. These ones are very rounded. So unfortunately, it doesn't cut those, but that's okay. We can use these for card fronts and all sorts of things. So really, really nice. As I said, brings back lots of memories. but now I want to make them into tags. So I've got some of these little bits and pieces that I've cut out previously. I just want to cut out a few at the moment in gold in this little one here. We'll just pop all those up there so we don't lose them. They're the tags out of that tag sentiment that I'm going to use. So let's just cut a few of these while I've got that. I've got some gold paper over here. So just let me grab, that will do. Just want to cut out a few in the gold. Because even though I've got to cut quite a few of these, we're not going to do, I won't do all of them today in this class. I'll do a few more later on in the day. But once we've got a few designs, then we can just go for it. So let me just cut a couple of these out. Unfortunately, it's a little bit slow doing this because there's only one die. Sometimes Stampin' Up gives us 2 dies. You love Stampin' Up? I'm just reading. Okay, so Crafting on a Budget says, I love Stampin' Up. I actually started paper crafting with them in 2008. Okay, well, it's a long time ago. It's a great company. I actually quite enjoy being with them, and mainly because of all the friendships that I've built. Like all the ladies that come on here today and on Tuesday night. It's actually really great. I spend all day at home, pretty much 5 days, 6 days a week, sewing and doing alterations. So I've got customers that come in and out all the time, but I don't get to see many people besides them. So it's actually really nice seeing the same people popping on every week on here, because we're sort of really forming wonderful friendships here. So, and that's what one of the main things I get out of Stampin' Up is all the beautiful friendships that I've made with lots of people, lots of Stampin' Up people, and just customers who are watching. It's always great. And then you've got all the wonderful products that they give us. So it's always a lot of fun. I love it when new products come out and we get to play with things. I just don't like it when my mojo goes missing, which is of late. It's gone on a holiday and left me behind. Their products are top notch. They certainly are. And I tell you what, I've never seen a company, and I've worked in retail for many years, and they're quite happy if something doesn't work to say, okay, this product doesn't work. And no matter how much we get upset by them discontinuing a product or something, but if they can see enough faults in it, or it's not performing the way that it should have been performing, they've got no qualms instead of saying, okay, we're going to take that off the market. And I think that's actually pretty big of a company to do things like that. So, I like Stampin' Up. Okay, that's going to be enough, I think, to get us started. Okay. So we've got a few gold ones. I've got a few green ones that I did a few weeks back. We'll probably need, I might pop that away too far away because we will need that again. Put that die up there with all my dies. There's those few ones here. These ones here. This one here has been cut from Pretty Peacock. These ones here, I coloured some cardstock a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was in might have been Granny Apple Green and Old Olive, I think, and I've got some of those there. So I've got a few of these. Let me just have a look. I've even got a couple in Lost Lagoon. Lost Lagoon, is that right? No, it's not Lost Lagoon. Oh, I can't think now. I'll have to look it up in a minute. Unless someone can remember and tell me. So you hadn't done paper crafting until you came across Stamping Up, is that right? I've been a scrapbooker for a long time. Scrapbooking was my thing when my children were little. When I got into Stamping Up, we were renovating our house. We had to move out of our house and we were living in a caravan. So everything we had in our house was packed in boxes, including all my craft things. And as I said, I was a scrapbooker from a long way back. And everything was put in boxes. And at the time I found out about Stamping Up, went to a couple of their workshops that people I knew had put on, and said to my husband, now this is fantastic, I can get into this and I promise I'll keep it all in a small box. Well, it's sort of like taken over. Hello, Joan. It's not in a small box anymore. But I mean, it was fun and it got me doing a few things with other people. I had been involved with other companies. I'd been on a design team for a scrapbook shop locally in town, and they'd closed. So it was really, and because we were living in a caravan, there were 6 of us in a caravan. I was cooking in a shed with the door wide open in winter where everything was iced up and almost snowing. And it gave me a bit of a release. It was my time to do to do a bit of crafting. Stamping Up sort of came at that right time, and it was small enough at that stage because I wasn't a demonstrator that I could actually just do a little bit of card making just to keep my hand in, because for 2 years we lived like that. Yeah, my house became the box. It took over. But yeah, I think, and the friendships then I formed were really great. And a lot of those friendships I've still got them today, because now I'm a demonstrator. And I've got more, with everybody that jumps on here and says hello. So it's it was good. So you're looking for someone to show you how to make. You found out about it after all. You were looking for someone to show you how to make an album to honour your mum. Oh, that was lovely. That is so nice to make something like that. That's so special. Yeah, I can understand where you're saying. I think Stamping Up or any other company just comes in. Sometimes they come into your life at the right moment. You make friends at the right moment with them, and scrapbooking in that is a great release. Any sort of crafting it's good for your health. But anyway, let's start making. So I'm going to start off by grabbing another piece of basic beige. Let me see if I've got a piece here. I might have to grab. No, here's a piece I can use. And I want to stamp a couple of this stocking in it, and I wanted to stamp that in real red. So I've got my real red here, and I'm going to stamp a few of these. So I probably will keep that to one here with me. Let me just see if I've got any other scraps of it lying around that I can do a bit of stamping on. Oops, here's another piece. I love this colour, basic beige. I was so pleased when Stamping Up brought it out. Okay, so let's ink this up. We're going to do some very simple colouring. Now, as I'm discovering at the moment, a lot of my stamp pads need to be re-inked. So let's hope I got enough real red in there. I've got my real red on order. But that's nice. I like that. So we're going to stamp a couple of these images. And we're going to do some really quick colouring. Now, I did this style of colouring, probably a couple of months ago on another card. But sometimes I think You don't need to add a lot of colour, and because we're doing this straight onto basic beige, we're going to do a simple way of colouring. So let me just stamp a few more. We won't colour all of these. We'll colour some of them though. But while I've got the ink pad here. So has anybody been working on anything special that they'd like to share with me today? Are you creating lots of Christmas cards already? Well, that's good, Nicole. Must have quite a cache of stamps then. If you've got them over 30, some of them over 30 years old. Okay, so I've just stamped that in real red. And what we're going to do is, this is a blender pen. Okay, you can buy these in packs of 3. And what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to make sure I've got a nice clean brush. I probably do have to replace some of these soon as well. But what I'm just going to do is just go around the outer edge, because I've just stamped this in ink, and the blender pen is just going to pick up that ink that are on this stamped area, and we're just going to move it about, and I'm just going around all those outside edges. Now you could colour in the heel of the stocking and the toe of the stocking, and I'm just taking that, blending that colour outwards a little bit just to give it a bit of dimension, using those areas that Stampin' Up have given us in that stamp to put my shading. So I'm just only using the ink that's on the stamped image itself. So then I'm just going to come in and again just do lightly go over some of these little branches. Now you don't need to do this with the whole area. You could just do it with certain areas. You could go over the whole thing if you wanted to. And I think I'm just going to do just very lightly around that outline of the top of the stocking, and maybe just some of these little so you could just do it just like that, so then you've got that definition between the light and thick, and I think I actually quite like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple more, and it's just a real quick way to add that little bit of colour if you don't want to colour the whole thing in. Just go around this part here. And we'll do some of these branches as well. But just spreading that colour a little bit. Okay, so we've got a couple of there done. And just to clean the nib of your pen by just getting a scrap of paper and just wiping it on the paper until it comes clean. Okay, if you do that in between each use, it keeps it clean, because and you can go from different colour to different colour if you're using lots of different colours. So I'm just going to pop those to one side, and we're going to cut these 2 out. May even cut that one out as well while we're doing it. But what I will do, so I can pop this through my mini cut and emboss, I'm just going to give myself a bit of space around them. Oh, I never know how to pronounce that, Deborah. Permagano. We used to sell that when all of that stuff when I was at Spotlight many years back. It was always very pretty. And it was just on vellum. Am I correct in thinking that's the one I'm thinking of? So Spotlight or Lincraft I might have seen it at. I know Spotlight sold it, but I'm just thinking when I first saw it, because I worked at Lincraft before Spotlight, and I worked in this. I worked in their curtain section. I started off in their dress sections, but I also worked their craft. So, you're lucky, Nicole. You don't have to sell any of your stuff. Okay, so there's one. Let's keep cutting. We'll cut a couple of more. So all I want to use is some of these elements. I might even cut a couple of the stockings from the paper as well. Both Lincraft and Spotlight had it. Okay. Yeah, it was the one thing I never got into, because by the stage I was actually working for Spotlight, I was well and truly into scrapbooking. I used to travel all over Sydney to get my stuff, but I lived here in the Southern Highlands, and we had a scrapbook shop here that I was on the design team for. Yeah, those were the days. Okay, so we've cut out those. So now we've got some greenery. We've got some stockings. We don't need that piece. What else do I want? I've got some scraps here that I'm going to cut into some strips. I know what I said I was going to cut. Is we want to cut maybe a couple of these. Whoops, got pretty close there. Anyway, we might just get that out. Just do a couple of those. So let's die cut these, just so then we've got them. Pop that onto there. It makes it really simple instead of having to colour stockings. They're already done. Do this one as well. Okay. I've just got my paper trimmer here, and I just want to cut of strips of this, probably about 1.5 centimetres in width. Just going to cut a few of those. Maybe even 2 centimetres. Another couple of strips there. This one's a tree, but I might just cut that. That'll trim down. It's from the trees, but we can use that. Just having a look what else I've got here that I've got in bits and pieces that we can use. You know what, that could look quite pretty. What have I got underneath that? If I cut the bottom of that off, rather keep that for stockings, I think. Trying not to cut up too many of my big pieces because, I know I can order some more, but I like to try to get the best out of this as I possibly can. That's the piece I'm looking for. That one and maybe that one. Actually, there's some scraps. Let's have a look. Keep these scraps and use them up. So let me have a look what I've got here. That one there, I'm going to cut. It's just that nice green colour. Can add a strip. That one's going wrong way a bit, but that's okay. We could use this side of it. Let's just have a look. And let's cut a strip of that one. Okay. Let's start putting something together and see what we can come up with. Looks like you're spending your morning being the best seat in the house for your cat. Oh, lovely. We lost our cat. Our cat passed away a while back, and we haven't done anything about getting another one. I don't know yet whether we want to or not. Okay, let's have a look. So, what I want to do, there's that piece there. I've got a few pieces, circles like that. I've got quite a few circles here. These circles here are cut from the Spotlight on Nature, and then I have, so I've also got that one and a few other little small ones there. I also have some bigger ones with just the stitching around the edge, and I've got some of those cut from the Stylish Shapes. So I've got quite a few bits and pieces there that we can pull out and have a look at just to decorate these. So really, I've got all these bits and pieces here. Excuse me. And I want to decorate them. So I want to use the wild wheat because I think wild wheat's, excuse me, quite nice as a substitute for gold. And I've just got a bit of scratch paper here. I'm going to pop underneath. Let's just move those out of the road because I might be stamping off a little bit. And I think what we're going to do, this is what I imagine. Okay, so I want to put a cluster of this holly, and I'm going to overlap it, and I don't mind doing that there because it is going to get covered up a little bit. But what I might do is grab another scrap of paper. I wonder if I've got another scrap here somewhere that I can use. No, we might just have to tear that in half. I'm just going to pop that there, and I just want to pop another one just there. So just so I'm not building up a real mishmash of stuff there. Excuse me. Our weather is so changeable at the moment. Yesterday it got quite warm. Today it's been quite cold, and my sinuses are still playing up. And yeah, it's not being much fun. So what I thought we'd do with this one here is we've got this strip here, can go across the middle there. I want to add a sentiment first. So this is my memento, and I've actually put my memento ink into a blank white ink pad because I find the it inks up a lot better. And I'm just going to stamp this in the memento tuxedo black because it will stand out a little bit. So I'm just popping there for someone special. I want to add that piece across the middle so we've got a little bit of colour there. So let me grab my seal, and I'm just going to pop a bit of that onto here. Oh, my seal is playing up a little bit. It's not quite sure what's happening there. Not quite sure whether I'm a great lover of the seal yet, but anyway, don't know why that's going like that. It's almost like it's cut, but anyway, let's keep moving along. So I want to pop that about there, and I'm just going to trim that off. Sometimes when you're doing things like this, it's just a matter of playing and seeing what you come up with. I could have probably had that bit straighter, but that's okay. And then I want to pop my stocking on there. Probably should have put a bit of holly or something coming in there, but you know what we can do is probably add, maybe go to that one. Okay, I'm going to pop a bit of seal there. It's a little bit different to the way I would normally do it. And Lost Lagoon. I think this is, I'm pretty certain that's the colour. But you could use any sort of scraps for something like this. And we could pop just another one like that there. Yep, that fills in that area. I'm just going to pop that little bit there out. Not being too fussy with these because really they only last for 1 day or 2 days. Okay, so let's pop some dimensionals on here. Now, the other thing I've got floating around my desk here somewhere is the Very Vanilla and Black Gingham ribbon. Now, I do have some Very Vanilla twine, and I like to cut these about 25 centimetres. Pop that through there. And that one through there like that. Now we could, if we wanted to, add a little bit of bling to this. I'm not quite sure what bling I've got. So let's just have a look. Trying to find something that's going to be still current in my stash is going to be the interesting thing. Let's have a look what I've got here. Is there anything that's appropriate, that's still current? Could put some of those on there in the gold colour. That's still a current item. Use a couple of those. But I don't have many of those, so we might leave them off. I'll have to check those, whether they are current. They definitely are. Okay, let's have a look what we've got here. Maybe use these. Okay, let's have a look. Probably only want the smaller ones. And let's grab my take a pic tool. One, two. Just want to put 3 on there. Let's pop the third one about there. Okay, so there's one done. So let's create a couple more. Okay, let's use this one here. Again, I'm going to use the holly. And this time I think I might take it down the bottom there. Stamp our sentiment about there. Do we put on, so I'm really just using this as a filler, but I'm wondering if we need something else on there. It can't be just that. Pop that on there. I'm wondering what we could put. Give me some ideas, ladies, because that's going to be like almost too big to go on that. I wonder if we've got a smaller little one. Pop that on there and add Where's that ribbon? And I'm going to grab a glue dot. Yeah, it's sad when an animal goes missing. Our cat Jerry, he went missing. Oh, he was gone for about a week. And across the road from our place, before all the houses went in, there's a drainage, and there's a drain off a creek, and it's really just all mud, and it's clayey sort of mud. And I thought, oh, I hate for him to be stuck in that. But guess what? He was stuck in there, because when he did get back, when he managed to get himself out, he came back and he was caked in it. I'm wondering whether, or, that could be quite pretty. Just something really, really simple, because you don't have to go overboard with these. Let's just pop, wondering if that should go, just to give a little bit of definition. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. What we can do, where is that twine? What I want to do is just run my finger across that a few times. So I've got that ribbon being held together with with the glue dot, but I'm just going to, hope I'm doing this on screen so you can see. I'm just going to tie this around there, tie it off into a knot, but I'm going to tie a little bow. Might have cut myself a little bit too little piece of twine, but that's okay. We can, don't want a big bow, just want a little bow. Oops, almost pulling that bow right through. Oh, that's just giving myself a little bit too little bit. Let's just try this again. And I've got one side probably longer than the other. You know what? I'm just going to cut that. Same lengths. And I'm going to tie another bow. Yeah, I love combining the two together too, because it gives you the nice texture. Having ribbons and bows and things. This is going to work out quite fine. We're going to grab another glue dot. Hoping this is not going to end up too bulky. And pop that on top. Hold those tails of that knot down. Pop that one there right over the top of that. So let's have a look. So I've got that there. I'm going to pop a little bit of, actually I might pop a dimensional underneath that. pop that there. Give myself a good amount of glue there because it's going to take a little while for that to hold. Just let that dry. It's fingers crossed that that will dry. Then don't know whether I should be putting glue or a glue dot on this. Just want to very carefully slip this in. Actually, you might slip it in underneath. Underneath that circle there, and then let's grab another one. And I'm going to pop a glue dot on the back of this one. I just want to push that up into there as much as I possibly can. Give that a little bit of a firm push. And there's another one. So let me just lift that one up so you can see that. So that one I've just put a bit of the gold foil leaves under that just to give it a bit, you know, to balance out the this bit here. But the white just gives it a little bit of a lift. So let's just cut another bit of twine here for this one. So again, about 25 centimetres. Pop that in through there. So now we have two made. Let's keep going and see what else we can come up with. So there's two. Let's grab this one. I think I might still go with putting my ivory holly on there, I should say. So let's put one. Go one there. Whoops, yep, straight into the ink pad. One down there. I'm wondering whether I can fit have a Merry Christmas across there. So let's just grab stamp that one on there. Wondering with that one or... The only problem with putting that there is that's now down too low, and so our... Okay, so what else could we put on there? Keep it very simple and do something like... Now that could look quite pretty. Just using... Let's pop this on. Let's just have a look. Could even put a little bit of... No, I think it needs... You know what? I'm just thinking... Don't know whether this is going to work or not, but... Always do a little bit of fussy cutting. Who likes to fussy cut? Who finds it relaxing? Is it something you do while you're watching TV or... So what is everybody up to this weekend? It's Friday. Have you got plans for the weekend? You're a fussy cutter and not a colouring in person, Nicole. That could actually look very pretty. Just keeping this really, really simple. I think sometimes we can get so complicated in some of the things we do. I know I do. That we forget that sometimes doing things rather simply can always be quite rewarding. Just get rid of that bit that's got big glue on it. So there's another one, and got another piece of twine. So that's 3 down, 40 to go. So what do you think of that one? Does that look okay? So just keeping it really, really simple. Okay, let's grab another one. Now let's have a look. What could we do with? We've got that stocking. What we could do is just do something. Okay, we need to put a smaller sentiment on this one. Just trying to work out where I'm going to pop this sentiment, because really I don't want it too low. I want it as high as I possibly can. Just going to be about there. And you know what I might do for this? I think this is my little box of bits and pieces. I don't know whether I've got... Yes, I have. This little piece, die piece here. Now, I can't remember the set that that's come from, but sometimes having these pieces are quite handy because you can cut this in a few places and it gives you a little bit of... You can pop that one there and that one there, and then that just sitting on top, and it just gives that little bit of decoration, and it's just really, really simple. So again, I'm just going to... Actually, I might even use my seal for this. Just pop a little bit of seal across there. Have one there. Just going to put a bit more. I must have black ink on my fingers because I managed to get some ink onto that. That's okay, because this is going to cover that up. Just giving it that little bit of something a little bit, you know, might even get some more of those and cut some more of that. That's quite good. I like that. That possibly could be my favourite so far. And I've still got this little piece here that I can use. So that can go there. And let's cut another length of this. And we might do one more, and then that might be our live for today. So far we've got that one, we've got that one, which is a bit different, and that one, and let's just do one more. So okay, let's have a look. Let's grab another tag and let's have a look what other. I'm just wondering whether, grab my paper trimmer. Should see my desk. It is a real mess. I'm trying to balance everything in there. Okay, so let's grab that tag again. Now I'm just sort of wondering whether we fussy cut. So bear with me while I quickly fussy cut around this. So we've got that. Again, we could probably pop that on there. No, I think that's going to get too lost. Don't know whether that's going to work or not. Might just fussy cut around these little presents. I've actually got a wider one. I think I might put the holly behind it again. Bring in our sentiment. Pop that there. I think I might have cut the sentiment. The sentiment might be stamped a little bit too. Don't know about this one. I think I'm going to have to think about it because I think it's... That could even go across there like that. Doesn't matter if it hangs off the bottom. I don't know about this. Don't know. Okay, let's have a look. Let's just do... a little bit of seal across that ribbon. Stick that there. Not quite sure whether I'm going to use that tree or not. That's quite nice. I'm just keeping that really, really basic and really, really simple. And you could do that with any coloured ribbon. Doesn't have to be a gingham ribbon because the black and the gold will just look really good with anything. And we could even, if we wanted to, I think I like even putting a bit of that. Whoops. So let's see if we can pop these two together with a glue dot. Just going to lift that ribbon up a bit and pop that underneath the ribbon. Oops, and bring that one back. See if I can get it sitting back down nicely again. There. Just to have a little bit more extra in it. Okay, so I think that's about it for that. I've still yet to make, as I said, another 30 odd. So I did have this one that I played with earlier. Let me just get rid of my scrap paper. Now I probably won't be photographing these. I might just do a quick photograph over the next day or so, and so just to go on the cover of my blog. But that's a couple of others, another one that I had come up with earlier. So just but adding one of the circles on there. Also had coloured that one in. So there's some fun Christmas tags. Just using up bits and pieces, scraps, doing a bit of fussy cutting, a bit of ribbon, and using up what I have. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Today has just been something a little bit different because, I mean, as I said, my mojo is still hasn't found its way home. I'm still fiddling around a bit. So I couldn't, and I needed to get these done, and I need to make a lot more yet. So I think I'll be doing these for a while today. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed watching me. It's been great having a chat with you and catching up. So have a lovely weekend. I hope whatever you're doing, you're going to have fun. We're off to Canberra. I've got something to go to on Sunday, but also my son who lives in Canberra, he and his girlfriend are moving into a new house. So we're going to go and help them for a little while. So unpack some boxes. So take care. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.